And a good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Issues and Attitudes. My name is Jeff Owens, Director at WEIU. My co-host, fresh from vacation, Corbin Cox.
Hello. You can see my tan, can't you?
Today we're going to be talking to the Office of Leadership and Engagement here at EIU, Crystal Brown.
Good afternoon.
Welcome. And Nathan Wehr.
Good afternoon.
Yeah.
Oh my
Bring
God,
that
it's not
mic
morning.
up to you just a little bit, Nathan, if you would,
Oh,
please.
sorry. Yeah.
All right, Crystal, I'm going to start with you if you don't mind. We had a co-event we co-sponsored a few weeks ago. Why don't you recap your thoughts on Kids Day 2024, the return?
We brought WEIU Kids Day back, and I have to say it was a really good turnout. I was really impressed with not only how many organizations we had come out, but Buzzard was full of families. So it was really exciting to see that, and obviously I think that's going to have to be another staple of it that doesn't go away again.
Yeah, it was fun. My feet were tired by the end of the day, but yeah, I agree. So we thank you for all your work and everybody who came out. We haven't had a chance to talk about it much, but thanks for Kids Day 2024, and it's back. Nathan, since we talked last, why don't you give us a little update of what's going over there? Crystal promised me there's lots of things happening.
Oh no! Now I gotta high expectations. Yes, for us, we in a few weeks we are having the 70th anniversary of Greek Week on campus. So we're very excited about that coming up. It's 70s theme, so we got a lot of disco balls that have been delivered to the office. We're going to the skate rink in Mattoon, bringing that back, but of course air band and tug. So that's really exciting for us to be able to start doing that and celebrating 70 years of Greek Week on campus.
Mm-hmm. Maybe what are some benefits to Greek life on campus, and about how involved is the Office of Leadership and Engagement in Greek life?
Oh, yeah. So IFC, which is our Interfraternity Council and Panhellenic Council, they are hosted under the Office of Leadership and Engagement, so the involvement is heavy there, especially with Greek Week, homecoming. And then I would say some benefits, of course, are networking, leadership opportunities, and getting connected more to campus and having that affinity when you graduate, as well as having a different home in different areas across campus.
What is the number of Greek participants right now in terms of fraternities and sororities on campus?
Absolutely. We are about 350 plus students right now, and that includes our Interfraternity Council, so IFC, Panhellenic, NPHC, and MGC.
Okay.
Yep.
When you also, I guess when people think, well, Office of Leadership Engagement, what is that at EIU? So can you explain a little bit of what you do?
Leadership engagement is a lot.
Yeah.
Not only do we have fraternity and sorority programs, the Greek organizations, but we still have civic engagement programs like Hunger Action Month, the Women Up Conference, Operation EIU Votes. We've got the campus food pantry under our area, which is exploding month over month. Mm-hmm. Volunteer opportunities. Just general student engagement programs like Student Appreciation Week that'll be coming up here in 2 weeks in April, and just any other way that we can help students get connected and involved on campus.
Absolutely.
What is Student Appreciation Week?
Yes.
That's a great question.
It is a new program that we started last year, just a way for us, while we know April's a busy month, but we wanted to just do something to say thank you to our students for all that they do on campus, whether it's academically or involvement. So we have a few events planned, just some ways that they can come out and have some fun, some free fun, get some giveaways, and that we can just say thank you to them.
When, where, and how on that in terms of some details?
It is the week of April 8th through the 14th, and those details will be out later this week.
All right.
Yes.
So something to look forward to.
Absolutely.
When you also talked about some of the other things, when you think about this time of year, 5-6 weeks left of campus for the classes and for students as they get ready for graduation and or finals, or both in some cases, where does your office step up to try to help the students kind of prepare for the end of the semester? And some of them are going into the real world, and some of them are just finishing up at school year.
Absolutely. I think for us, our office, I think that's where the Student Appreciation Week comes in. Excuse me. Just to take a moment to say, thank you for your involvement on campus and just, chill for a moment. And also, we are having Panther Service Day that is going to come up as well. And then we also have Panther Leadership Awards, which honors a lot of our students in terms of RSOs, individuals, just across campus to say thank you, you all do a great job. But in terms of hitting the real world, we are we've hired some graduate assistants so that will help them kind of gain those leadership skills afterwards. But really, that's what we're looking at.
Can you talk about the Panther Awards, some of the things that you
Yeah.
do to honor students on campus?
Absolutely. So this is our second year. We realized across the board, and especially within our student affairs division, that we really didn't have a leadership award or Panther Awards to honor our students, RSOs. So those honor like individual awards in terms of like emerging leaders, RSO Officer of the Year, RSO of the Year. I'm trying to think of like there's like
Social Justice Award.
Yes, we have like
Panther of the Year.
Yes,
Panther
it's
of
a
the
That would
Year.
be Billy, right?
right, exactly.
Yeah, so we want to make sure that we're recognizing not only our new students, maybe those emerging freshmen,
Right.
sophomores that are
Yeah.
just getting involved or looking to get involved, but those upperclassmen getting ready to graduate who've gone above and beyond throughout college. Like he said, not only individuals, but RSO leaders, RSO groups.
And then we
Yeah.
also have the FSL awards that are within that as well. So we've kind of combined it to be one big award program, which is really awesome.
Now, do you have an event for that, like a date, or do you have
Yeah, so it's going to be Sunday, April 14th. It'll be in the evening time. It'll probably be baseball themed because that's what the theme for Student Appreciation Week will be because our students knock it out of the park. So I'm a really big theme guy, so give me a theme and I'll buy all kinds of stuff for it. So yes, it'll be that Sunday, April 14th. So we're excited to invite some award winners there.
That's cool.
What's the process like for those awards? Like nominate, like do other people nominate? Do you guys pick people out? Or?
Yeah, absolutely. So the award process is we open it at the beginning of February. We open it for the whole month of February so people can nominate either individuals or they can nominate the RSOs. And then from there, we review them across campus, faculty, staff, and then they'll get awarded at the ceremony.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Crystal, one of the things that you started a couple of years ago, or I guess in the last couple of years, you talked about as exploding is the campus food pantry. You both of you just start smiling when so you know a success when you see it. But talk about where it is and what it's done and how many people it's feeding.
Yeah, it has come so far. This is officially our third academic year. It's been
Okay.
open about 2.5 years. We are on track this year to double the number of total student visits that we had last year, which is effectively 5 times what we served the first year we were open. So our numbers are growing. We had over 800 visits in the month of February alone. So students, the great thing is students are learning about it. They feel comfortable coming to it and getting the support that they need to help put food on the table. Obviously, that means, though, there is a need if our numbers keep going up because we're effectively serving 25% of our campus population, on-campus population now. So it's huge, but we are really fortunate that we've been a part of the IBHE Food and Hunger and Housing Insecurity Grant this year that Eastern received, and so that's allowed us to purchase additional equipment, another cooler and freezer so that we can provide more food and have more fresh options for our students to come and get.
That is really cool. Now, Corbin, I'll let you be the do you take advantage of that, or do you know people that go there?
I
as a
haven't,
student
but
here at EIU?
I know people who have before. I haven't gone, but some of my roommates have
That's
before.
kind of cool that we offer that in terms to help kids. Mostly when we get into these last few weeks where maybe money's tight
Yes.
from the year being over and you're trying to get ready for
Absolutely.
finals and everything.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's good to have that extra snack or at least a warm meal on a mostly a day like this when
Right.
Yes.
it's very windy. The campus food pantry, can you tell us a little bit about the hours and when it's open, and so maybe students
Yep.
listening right now?
Yeah, it is open Monday through Friday when classes are in session. 2 hours each afternoon. They vary depending on the day. Somewhere between 1:30 and 5, you can find us open. Due to that grant that I mentioned a few minutes ago, we are excited. We just let students know this morning that for the rest of this semester, students can actually come 3 times a month instead of twice. And we're also going to add Wednesday evening hours from 5 to 7 for the rest of this semester, just to give a little extra support for those students that maybe have jobs or can't get there before 5 o'clock.
That's good news.
How did the food pantry come about? Like, how did you guys see a need and you filled it? Did students tell you about it? And maybe what were some of the things you had to overcome to get it up and running?
Yeah, no, great question. We saw a need. our office worked with Dr. Michael Gillespie, who has done for many years a survey on campus of our students, but also nationally of what the food insecurity issues are out there, and was seeing that whether it was here at Eastern or across the country, historically about 40% of college students at some point have identified as being food insecure. And that was the same that we were seeing on our campus. So we did, with that research and surveying our student body and talking to our organizations like student government, got that student support, and then took that information to our administration and got their approval to create the food pantry.
Was it hard to get the word out about it, like to get students actually coming?
While the first year was successful, we really didn't know what to expect. We would have been happy with 200 students, and we served almost 1,000 students in that first year. On the flip side of that, I do think it was hard to get the word out. And then also just because it was new and not all students may have experienced this in their own personal lives, making them know that they can feel comfortable to come and that it's a safe space to come and there's no stigma attached to that.
The last time we were talking about the food pantry, you were hoping to get some more diverse foods in there. So some of the, because Eastern has really got a diverse campus right now with international students really populating the campus. Have you been able to do some of that?
We're still working on that, to be honest. There's only so much I can do in the hours that we have a
Crystal.
day.
Right.
I'm sorry. We are trying. We are kind of getting the word out to some community partners as well to let them know, hey, if you have connections or know of places to help support us in that way. So that's been nice to have some community outreach to advocate for that for our students.
One of my friends actually wanted me to ask this. You guys take like monetary donations, but she wanted to know if you guys accept food donations at all.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
We will take monetary donations or food donations anytime. Even if the pantry's not open, there's a box outside they can leave them in, or they can just reach out to our office, and we'd happily connect with them to get those food donations for the students.
It's an election year in the country. It's getting people ready to vote. Can you talk about your student voting program to get kids registered?
Yeah, Operation EIU Votes is a huge part of our office. We are considered a voter-friendly campus through NASPA, and we are excited to continue that partnership. And just really our goal for this year is to hopefully have every EIU student that's eligible to be registered to vote and hopefully use their voice to make that decision. I know we just had primaries over spring break, so hopefully, even though it was spring break, most of our students got out there and voted in primaries. But yeah, we will be hitting it hard in the fall to make sure that all students, all of our new students, are registered, whether it's here, because they can register in Coles County since they're on campus all year, or back in their hometowns. We just want to make sure they know those avenues and how to do that.
Okay, very good. Your office has always been about volunteerism. What about some volunteer opportunities still? Are you going to do some things these last 5-6 weeks of the semester?
Yes, there's always volunteer opportunities.
Oh, yes.
Go with
Whether it's at like the EIU campus food pantry, we love students. So that way, if they do utilize it, they can always come and volunteer as well. We also have our Charleston food pantry that we do the Thursday evening. So we do volunteers for that. And then our biggest one is going to be Panther Service Day coming up on Saturday, April 13th, where we will rent some buses and our students will go out and volunteer within the Charleston Coles County community.
And that's when they go to all different agencies.
Oh,
and
yeah.
They kind of pick where they want to go if they can and,
Yes.
and do it. Can you give us some examples of maybe some things they'll be doing in the community?
Yep. Some of our sites so far include Douglas Hart Nature Center, Whiteside Community Garden, Fit to Serve. They'll be getting their community gardens prepped and planned. In the past, we have gone to Aikman Wildlife.
Oh, love it.
That's always a favorite of our service days. Trying to think of 5 Mile House. It's always a good one. Yeah, so we're excited.
Yeah.
What are some other groups or places you'd like to expand volunteer service to? Like maybe any areas students have shown interest in that you're like, ooh, we'd like to do that, but just haven't yet.
Ooh, good question.
Yeah, that is a good question.
Might have stumped by accident.
Yeah.
That's all right. Stump the guest.
Yeah.
Well, while you're thinking about that, can you talk about why students love to volunteer? Because the EIU has been one of the best in terms of, since I started here 20 years ago now, it seems like volunteerism has never been an issue to get kids to do it. So, why are the Eastern students so good at volunteering? Do you have an idea?
I think EIU students value volunteering because A lot of them actually have it instilled in them. I'm learning that here in the last several years because they're doing it in high school or in their service clubs in high school. So they already are getting that instilled before they even get here. And then we just make it a mission of our campus to instill it in them from that first weekend when they're participating in Jumpstart. And so then we're going to their classes and encouraging them. And we just really want to not just have them go out and volunteer where we want them to volunteer, but we want them to find a good fit, something that they're passionate about. And then a lot of times that's really what students do. They maybe, for example, go to our farm to table program because they need to for a class, but then they love working with the kids or those fresh foods from the garden, and then they keep going back just because they enjoy it.
Okay. You've had a lot of different people and students that come through your doors. Do you have any of those student success stories you could talk about? Somebody that maybe was, you didn't know about, then all of a sudden they graduated and have a great job, or they stayed on as a graduate assistant. Do you have any student success stories?
Yeah. Actually, one is Natasha. She was a former Panhellenic president. She's a student worker in our office now, and we just recently hired her as one of our graduate assistants in the office. So we look forward to working with her. I almost said dealing with her. No, she's amazing. Working with her for the next 2 years as she's a graduate assistant in the College Student Affairs program. But we've definitely had quite a bit.
Let me interrupt.
Yeah, you're good.
What made her stand out? I'd love to hear the thing.
Yeah.
What made Natasha get picked over Corbin or whatever?
Right. Corbin, I would still pick you.
Oh, thank you.
Good. You're welcome. So since her freshman year, when she started to go through sorority recruitment, got her chapter, and then she got involved in our Panhellenic Council Exec Board. I've just worked with her for the last 4 years. She's been amazing. Leadership comes very easy to her, and she wanted to get involved. She's taken all the opportunities that have been available to her on campus. She's helped us win awards through AFLV, so national awards for our Panhellenic Council. So she's just been an amazing student/human being to give back. So
Okay, cool.
yeah.
Is there something you could say to students who haven't volunteered or maybe been thinking about it, like, this is why you should do it?
I would say yes. The thing I would say to them is, one, it's a good feeling to also give back, as a lot of these organizations outside of campus definitely help build up EIU as well. So it's kind of giving back to those that are already giving back to us. And it's just a good way to move in the future when you're going out into the real world. If you have working for a corporate company that does service or gives back during those days, it's something that you will automatically be used to. And you might find a way, like, outside of work life to give back. Maybe that's something that allows you to not always be in that realm of work, and to finding that organization within your community to give back to.
You want to add, Crystal, to that? You're shaking your head.
He did a great job, actually. No, I was just thinking, to put a term to it, is being an active citizen, an engaged citizen in your local community. So if we can instill those values to them while they're college students, then they will be ready, because there are a lot of corporations and companies out there that encourage service or give paid time off to go do service. Just, we want you to be involved in whatever community you're living in and know that that's your community.
Can each of you answer this question? It's a two-parter.
Oh,
What's
gosh.
the best part of your job, and then what's the toughest part?
I can start. I would say the best part of my job is, of course, the students. Of course, we just talked about success stories with students, so Natasha is just one example, but I would say definitely the students. They keep me on my toes. Sometimes they think I was born yesterday, and I'm like, listen, I've done what you've done, and luckily there wasn't social media. But I would say the tough part of the job is God.
God?
Yeah, God. I would just say dealing with, I'm trying to say this in a political way, campus politics, because
Red
you're
tape.
also, you're wanting to advocate for the students, but you also know the back end of things in terms of, university budgets and all that, and, they're like, well, why can't we do this? And it's like, so I would say that's the tough part of the
That's
job. Yeah.
Crystal?
Yeah, I would agree with that. That is the challenging side of our office. I think for me, the most rewarding part it is the students, but it's seeing them grow. So back to kind of what you're saying about students that get invested in our office and come out of nowhere. I think seeing them go from maybe just showing up to volunteer because they had to for a class or something to finding that passion and that light bulb turn on, and then maybe they become that fabulous student worker or turn into that great graduate assistant for us or another office, and just seeing them go through that and then continue even after they graduate to stay in contact with us or want us to still be a recommendation for them.
Okay.
And then, so we talked about like students volunteering. Is there a place for non-students, community members to help still, or like maybe they just don't know where to go? Could they come to you and be like, hey, like I want to volunteer, but I don't know what to do. Could you point me in the right direction?
We would absolutely point community members in the right direction if they wanted to volunteer and get in our community. There are some limitations depending on the events, if it's open to the community to participate. But we definitely want the community to be involved and be a partner with our office, whether it's working side by side with our students on an event, or if it's just us being able to be a resource for them to get involved themselves, or maybe they have their own nonprofit and they just need some additional volunteers to support them. What can we do to help them?
We're talking to Crystal Brown and Nathan Wehr from the Office of Leadership and Engagement here at EIU. And you guys obviously have worked together for the last couple of years now. Can you each talk about each other's strengths? I mean, what's the best part about Crystal? Crystal, what's the best part about Nathan?
I will say the best part working with Crystal is she keeps me in line. I'm definitely the office distraction. I like to have a good time, joke around. I get easily distracted by things.
Hey, we've got a handful of those here too.
Oh, perfect. Maybe I'll
Some
just
names
come
come to
over
mind
here.
immediately.
Don't say names out loud.
Right. So I would say she definitely keeps me in line in terms of like making sure I'm hitting deadlines, turning in receipts, giving her the receipts, and just keeping up on that. So she's very good about doing that. Yes.
I think that, like you said, we balance each other out really well. I may be that organized detail person, but he does make sure that I still have fun.
Yes.
And can be like, all right, this isn't that serious. Relax about it.
Right.
So
That's good.
Yes.
Yeah, sound like you had a good working relationship, which is
Yes.
good, right?
Absolutely.
But speaking of that in a serious way, what do you think? When you think of leadership, what are the values that leaders need to have that you're trying to instill in students, but also want the students see in you?
Yeah. First thing that comes to mind for me is service and stewardship, or just being a servant leader, is doing stuff that like I would expect them to maybe do. Is I'm not going to ask someone to put together this cart if I'm not willing to put together that cart.
Yeah.
Or put in some hours for volunteering if I'm not willing to do that. So just honestly being a good role model in that aspect is something that pops into my head for the students.
Crystal?
That's actually what I was going to say, is being able to say, we're willing to step up and work right side by side with you. It's not just saying, here's the to-do list, now we're going to go sit at our desk.
Right. Absolutely.
What do students ask you the most when they come in your office? Maybe that first day or the first time,
Right.
And they're a little apprehensive maybe. But
I would say like the biggest question is, what is the Office of Leadership and Engagement? Because in the past we've combined two offices as well, so just kind of explaining to them like the areas that we oversee and how we can get them involved as a student leader on campus.
I think a lot of times they're overwhelmed if they're new, and even if it is just the volunteering side of it, it's like, well, I don't know where to go or what I should do. So it's just really walking them through that and saying, what are you interested in? How can we get you connected? Whether it's volunteering, Greek life, whatever that is, how can we get you your foot in the door in one of our aspects of our office, and then help you lead from there.
And then once you get the foot in the door, how do you motivate them? Do you have keys to motivate it? You think that it helps them or not?
That is a very good question. I like to do it via the fraternity and sorority life. I like to say live your values a lot when it comes to that, because you joined an organization that is values-based. So, if you're going to do that and make yourself a leader, then you need to be able to live those values. So I get a lot of them on that way, because they're like, okay, fine, I'll do it. So that's force that I use with our students.
You have motivational
well.
tool you use?
I think helping the students figure out what their passion is, because you're not going to be motivated if you're not passionate about it. So I really strive that to them from the volunteering standpoint. But I think, similar to Nathan, I think we also need to show the students that we're passionate, we're willing to do whatever that program or that area is as well. Because if we're not motivated, then how are they going to be motivated?
That's a good answer. We have a few minutes left today with Crystal and Nathan before we get to the odd-related questions. We're down to the final 6 weeks of the semester. Students come to you for advice. What do you tell them right now as they prepare for finals and or the real world?
I would say definitely stay on top of your deadlines. Don't let senioritis hit you too hard. Are you a senior?
No, I'm a junior.
Okay, good. Well,
But the senioritis is already hitting. Don't worry.
So just like that, and just like stay focused. I think that is a big part of it, but also like enjoying those last 6 weeks as well.
I think in addition to that, while you want to stay focused and hit those deadlines, it's making sure that you still take care of yourself and your mental health so that you're not burnt out or not getting enough sleep to be successful in meeting those deadlines.
Absolutely.
Any other questions from you?
Just one final thing. Students out there who want to come, email, call, just walk in, just that information.
All of the
Yeah.
above. All
Anyway,
of
we
the
are happy.
above.
They can come see us, third floor of the Student Union. Somebody from our office is usually there all the time.
Yes.
Email us at OLE.
At
Thank
EIU.edu.
you.
Yeah.
Like, what's the email
Forgot
address?
we
were- Right.
Yeah. Or call us at 581-3967.
All right, let's do rapid fire questions and we'll get out of
Okay.
here. We'll go Crystal across the board. You're going to be involved too on some, Corbin.
Oh, lucky me.
Summer vacation plans anywhere? Going anywhere?
Going to see the Savannah Bananas.
Savannah Bananas.
Ooh, I am going to Gulf Shores for my sister's 30th birthday. It's a whole thing.
Have some ideas, nothing concrete, but maybe Vegas for my 21st.
Okay, come on, Corbin.
All-time favorite mentor and or teacher or professor? Anybody?
Wow.
I would say David Setter. He was my FSL advisor when I was an undergrad.
Jessica Ingold, my sophomore year English teacher.
I had a couple really good mentors from college that I'm still in contact with that really helped me get in this field and continue to have that passion for what I do.
Do you have a pet?
No.
Yes, I call them my kids. I have Rose, which is a French bulldog, and Gus, who is an English bulldog.
Yes, I have at my parents' house Sasha, who is a pug beagle, and Maya, who is a mess. Just a total mess.
Hobbies. Do you have a hobby?
Does kids count?
I
Because
think
they
so.
are my hobby right now. It's
Sometimes.
sports.
Right, house projects is what I got.
At this point, just getting enough sleep is like a full-time hobby.
All right, real quickly, high school nickname for your or mascot. Were you the?
Cougars.
Wildcats.
Rockets.
There you go. All right, great seeing you both again. Appreciate
Yes.
Yes,
working with
thanks.
you every year.
Absolutely.
And, if you need to see Chris or Nathan, go over there and see him. We are WEIU.